What's going on, everybody? It's 7 o'clock, part of the Las Vegas Fantasy Football Conference. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Football Safe Space, brought to you by the Fantasy Football Network with the Mail-In app. Per usual, I'm accompanied by the Warden of the South, the King of the South. I don't care what T.I. has to say about it.
Yeah.
What's going on, Biggie?
Hey, T.I., I got him on lock. Don't even worry about him. Hey, what's
Hey.
up? Hey, much love, much love. I know it's hot out here. It's going to get even hotter with these takes. Let's get it.
And right above him, we have the King of LA himself.
Oh.
The fantasy is life. Ben
You
Dunn
know it's a vibe.
gets it done like no other. Fantasy shot callers. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's hotter than a bitch out here, but that no AC life, just waiting to make it big. But we on the right track. You know what I mean?
There it is. There it is. Brother Fox couldn't make it, but if he was here, he'd let y'all know about the HBO special over here at Fantasy Football Safe Space, and that's a help a brother out. Hit that like button, add a comment. We appreciate it. George says, "What's up, guys? Nice to have you guys back. Prayer hands." I got the number one this year, JT, for sure. Not mad at it. Albert, there. Rumor has it that you was in Vegas this weekend.
What? Hey, Albert, yeah, hey, we saw you out. Yeah, you might not have been there, but I'm telling you, you got a twin, brother.
we got a Albert clone running these streets.
Hey, I'm telling you.
So we'll have to send you a photo. Who else? George is back. Just trade M. Brown for Godwin. What do you guys think about that trade?
I don't know. For me, like I say, I always say, hey, I'm from Missouri sometime. Hey, Godwin got to show me, man. He hurt.
Ooh.
He hurt. And I think Hollywood, not to say that Hollywood is going to be, the best, but I will take his production of healthy Hollywood over a hurt Godwin.
And that's a fact because Godwin just rented out half the Copacabana and in the cabana at a Vegas pool because he is turning it to a blue tent, and that's where he will be.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now we talking shot caller. You know it. That he got the blue tent lined up.
Who would you guys taking with the number one? No, we went JT. I think we all agree JT is number one.
No doubt.
Good.
Do we agree that it could be, a decline in production? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. They like to dump off some, Matt Ryan with, Hines.
Yeah, I think he's pretty safe.
I think
he should have similar numbers.
I think he's safe. I'm just saying that, he didn't. I got him for a steal in a few leagues at the beginning of the year because he wasn't shining. Then all of a sudden it was 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. And he was exploding, towards the end. But, I think he's the number one.
So the Godwin trade isn't a bad trade, but we wouldn't have done it. I think that's a fair assessment from the three of us.
And it also depends on what wide receivers you have. Pittman's going to do well, but you got to draft Sutton. Pittman's ADP is way too high. I've been seeing him go in the 3rd round. Like, he's not proven anything to go before the 6th round. And just because Matty Ice is there, that doesn't mean automatically he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver. And when you're drafting someone in the 3rd round as a wide receiver, they have to be top 10. You'd already know this if you were following me. Fantasy Shot Callers on Instagram. You know what it is. Fantasy is life.
Hey, you gotta love it. And if Fox was here, if Fox was with you, he'd hug your neck because he hates nobody more than Pittman. He knows he's overhyped. So okay, that's true.
Yeah, for sure. This episode we were just gonna touch in on Las Vegas last weekend. We were all there for the Las Vegas Fantasy Football Conference. Kind of highlight some other leagues that we're in and that we're looking forward to, as well as just some injury updates. I know that you were in the Heart to Start with our brother JD Guccini. How do you feel about your squad, Biggie?
Hey, I'm loving my squad. I'm high up, already projections, which people can't fall too much into the projections that they already have, and then that you see you're the highest projected president that, you're going to feel like you're going to win, but hey, it changes really fast. But I think I got Mahomes and Trey from the Bay. So I can run with that, as my two quarterbacks. And I don't even like super flex, but it was something that they started, so I wanted to continue. And but I got Zeke, and I had a few other running backs that was a little question mark, but I got Pollard too, so I solidified that. So we'll see how it works out. But I think I'm coming for the ring, baby.
There it
You
is.
already know.
We got another question real quick. Should I trade Kelsey for Devontae Adams or Kamara? I have Schultz as my tight end. Unless it's a tight end premium, I would do it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
I
mean,
think Schultz is serviceable. Tight end 3 last year. How you feeling, Ben?
I mean, I just need more context. I need more context on your wide receivers and your running backs because it just depends. Honestly, like skill level, pretty much the same in like ADP with Devontae Adams or Kamara. It's just depending on if you have running back depth, because remember, there's a lot of wide receivers that can be picked up on waiver wires throughout the year. But with running backs, it's like last year was Elijah Mitchell, and then luckily Rashad Penny down at the end of the season.
Cordero Patterson.
Oh yeah, and Cordell Patterson. Thank you.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I just context is king.
no
for
doubt.
sure. Any big league that you're excited about? Home league, analyst league, Ben, that you're looking forward to?
I mean, I'm in a couple different leagues or a bunch of analyst leagues. I am excited for two leagues in particular that the week one matchup is favorable to me because it's some guy playing. His name's 7 o'clock. Who is
Uh-oh.
that? Who
That's what
is
I'm
that?
talking about. Uh-oh.
No. I just wanted to highlight. Actually, one draft strategy that helped me immensely, and that I have in 8 or 9, maybe even 10 leagues out of the 12 or 13 that I have, is if you're in the later rounds and Najee Harris is not there, and if you're drafting the day before, then you got to go Joe Mixon and Saquon Barkley for a couple different reasons. Everyone's talking about high upside and drafting Christian McCaffrey and being you got to risk it for the biscuit, but then they're low on Joe Mixon or Saquon because of their injuries too, which really makes no sense. So grabbing them two for not only the huge high upside, but a high octane offense that Joe Burrow is going to throw the ball to Joe Mixon, and then Saquon is probably the closest thing to a 3-down back. I'm not saying he will be a 3-down back, but the closest thing we have to this day to being a 3-down back. And last but certainly not least, I know some of y'all don't care about it, but by week 10 is Joe Mixon, and by week 9 is Saquon Barkley. So you can interchange them. And
I like it.
yeah.
Yeah, if I have the 12, like you said, if I have the 12, I got Aaron Jones and Saquon Barkley. So I got that. I think you have to go with two RBs at that turn. True.
Yeah, I think we all agree. Keep Sutton over Pittman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Says I have Josh Allen, Brady, Taylor Fournette, Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon, Jay Cook, Sutton, Godwin, Lockett, Boyd, Kelsey.
Oh,
Schultz.
you need Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
definitely did. And
Yeah.
he might have got Devontae.
Hey, context is king. I like that. I like that, King. Yes, King. I like that.
The elbow.
For me, I prefer the 12-man leagues. I really do. If funny enough, I'm in a 14 and 210. So this is the first year I don't have a 12 team league. It is whatever. I feel like the 12 team leagues separate like the really good, from the average to the bad. And when it's 10 teams, most teams are going to be pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the really good analysts can lose to an average or a bad player just because the teams are so much more better, just in my opinion. So with that said, I love my Warzone League team. I hit that thing with Austin Eckler at 4, came back and got Alvin Kamara, and then just got Leonard Fournette as my flex. And then I was able to get, I think I got T. Higgins in the 4th, Brandon Cook. No, then I got Kittle, then got Brandon Cooks in the 6th.
Oh yeah.
I was just cooking, so I feel really good. I had some depth on the bench, so I'm looking forward to that one because that one is actually similar to the Las Vegas conference where there's 2 separate conferences and then there's a Super Bowl. So it's actually a 20-team league, but I will play primarily in a 10-man to hopefully play the champion of the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I think week 1 I do play Ben in that league.
And I got that Saquon, Joe Mixon,
That's
what I call like stack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? And it's funny because I have a Burrow Higgins stack on that one. They play Pittsburgh week 1.
No doubt.
12-team Superflex is the way to go. I'm cool on Superflex, but I do agree 12-team.
Yeah.
Are you guys big on Superflex?
I'm in a league.
This man holds Superflex Sunday, so.
Yeah, you already know what time it is with him. I mean, it depends. It depends. Like I said, I mean, Superflex makes it tough. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, hey, it does separate the man from the boys. Also, I'm in a 2 tight end league, which I don't care for either. You know, like I said, they get too. It's too much sometimes in fantasy. But yeah, with Superflex anyway, it's tough. But if you draft right, it's good. You guys got to draft a quarterback early, and you can't wait.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about? Oh, go ahead, Ben. My bad.
No, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, Superflex is definitely it's newer to me. I've only been doing it for 4 years, but I got the hang of it pretty quick and won my first Superflex league. Thank you, Jalen Hurts, for coming in at the end of that season. But nevertheless, it's kind of similar to like drafting in just regular redraft. With that being said, it's like you're drafting to obtain the best at their position, right? So you're going to go double running backs in regular redraft. And then in Superflex, I either like to go double QBs or double running backs, and it doesn't really change. And then what changes are the middle rounds. So I think I like it. It's a bit different. Yeah, I mean, it kind of all depends on who you're playing with.
It's kind of like I said, I like it. It's just like if you don't draft a quarterback, and some pick 3 quarterbacks, you know, you can't sleep on that because some pick 3. Then you have the ones like I say, I like to have a limit in the Superflex where you can have, you know, like only 3 quarterbacks, or you know, if somebody just a load up with quarterbacks and to try to trade, you know, and get all these big pieces for quarterbacks. I don't like that part, but I like it though. It's challenging.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say with Superflex, and like you get into like more settings, it's kind of like the button mash leagues. Like you're playing Mortal Kombat and you're just like, I gotta win, and you're just pressing all the buttons so that you have every single stat available. Which I don't like those leagues.
Right.
Says I got offered Javonte Williams or Breece Hall and DJ Hawkinson for Kelsey, Lockett, Boyd, or Melvin Gordon. What do you guys think? It's a lot to unpackage, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Williams and DJ or Hall and DJ for Kelsey, Lockett, Boyd, or Melvin Gordon. I mean, you still keep Schultz, and I guess you get a running back and DJ.
And Hawkinson, right?
Oh, yeah. So then you're playing Hawkinson or Schultz. That one might entice me a little bit.
I like Javonte, Deontay, and Hawkinson.
For Kelsey, Lockett, and Gordon.
Yeah, you're basically giving up Kelsey.
Yeah, and you already have Schultz.
Yeah, smash that right now.
Hey, yeah. I think I would take it. I think I would take it. It's hard to give up Kelsey. It is hard to give
Yeah.
up.
Mm. You know, speaking of giving up Kelsey, I was in a position to get him in the second round after taking Joe Mixon this weekend, and I didn't. And I that's something that's been sitting on my chest. That post, because I just players were falling on the board that I did not think were going to fall on the board, and that shouldn't have. I had a chance to get Debo in the fourth. I had a chance to get DJ in the sixth, but I took Waller because I really wanted a premium tight end. But I probably should have just taken Johnson and waited on Hawkinson. But
Yeah,
I
you
took Waller.
you could have waited on Hawkinson again.
Yeah, I feel like Waller is better as a grade, as a tier above, and I
Mhm.
really really am a big proponent on getting like a top six tight
Yeah.
end. Um, but yeah, so it's Elijah Mitchell was in there in the fifth, so a lot of talent. I'm happy with my team. I think I have Joe Burrow as my QB. It's a 10 team, so it's going to be a little beefy. But I got just start naming starters. I was able to get Burrow. I went Mixon Diggs as my wide receiver over Kelsey. Um, RB2 is Leonard Fournette. My wide receiver two, I believe, is Brandon Cooks. My RB3 is Zeke. So Zeke is actually my flex. So I like my squad, and then I have Waller as my tight end. I have a pretty solid bench, but I'm kind of still wondering, like, damn, what if I had taken Kelsey instead and then gotten DJ, or even taken Debo instead of Zeke? Zeke was there in the fourth. There was a lot of value. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that spade side, Ben?
Um. Well, I was sniped 3 different times.
Oh yeah.
Sorry about
Uh,
that first.
within
Sorry,
the
not
first.
sorry. Like,
Yeah. You're not sorry. You don't even have to
hey,
say sorry.
hey,
Not
hey,
sorry.
hey! If you wanted Joe Mixon, you shouldn't have traded the number two overall pick.
You're right. um, I took some players I don't have in many leagues, but I still went double running back. Um, I let's see. So it was in the first with Najee gone and Joe Mixon gone. I grabbed DeAndre Swift because all the upside is there, and then I went safe with Nick Chubb. Got a little flack from FloJo and told me that you know this is full PPR, right? And so I immediately said thanks, dickhead. And then after that,
Shout out
I
FloJo.
Yeah. Much
That's my
love, bro.
quarterback.
That's my team.
and then I went David Montgomery in the third to solidify 3 running backs. And then I got my guy Cortland Sutton. I had to reach for him because I knew State of Mind would have got him at one of his 2 picks before it reached back to me, or someone else would have. And then a guy I'm big on that people aren't really looking at this year is DK Metcalf. He is one of the big. He is the biggest wide receiver in the NFL. He creates instant separation when he gets onto the field, and a buddy of mine who you guys probably will meet in the next coming months or so, but he was saying it perfectly that Geno Smith is a one-look quarterback. The Jets were shit with Geno Smith and Brandon Marshall, but Brandon Marshall put on some fantasy numbers, and so
Mm.
Definitely.
let's. I'm gonna reap all those benefits, and then I got that stack Russell Wilson. My bench is stacked, and then the 7 moment of the day, he came up to me and whispered in my ear, "Sweet expletive nothings," because I drafted Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, that one. That's. I mean, I probably should have taken him or Kittle. In hindsight, probably taken him in the fifth, knowing that more than likely DJ or Cooks might come back. But I took Brandon Cooks in the fifth and took Waller in the sixth, and
Right.
I'll live with it.
Yeah,
Obviously, I think Kittle, Schultz, and DJ look better than Cooks, Waller, but I'm not mad. I got Waller in the 6th. I got Zeke as my flex in the 4th. So Joe Burrow. I feel good about my squad, but it's a 10 team, so every squad is going to look pretty decent. I didn't take Le'Veon Bell in the 9th.
Oh, that was a blessing. I know. Yeah, that's a story to tell.
So what about you, Big E? Let us know, because you weren't in our. You're not on the spade side. You're on the heart side.
Right, true indeed, and it was a shocker, which you were blocking me and pushing me back. I'm trying to look at y'all's board, see how things were looking, but it played out totally different. Y'all went quarterback early, when we had quarterbacks go late. I got Pat Mahomes in the 5th round. You know what I'm saying? So I run down my squad right now. Projected wise, is the number 1 squad. For us with the points, I got Pat Mahomes, I got Derrick Henry, Lenny, I got T. Higgins, I got DK Metcalf, Travis Kelce, Allen Robinson, and then Matt Gay and the Rams defense.
You got some hitters.
I got some hitters on there. I'm telling you, man. I got Miles Sanders on the bench, Naeem Hines. I got some pretty good players that I think that are pan out. James Robinson, if he comes back. So, like I said, with a 10-team league, it's kind of tough. And what I didn't like about the 10-team league, which I don't mind it because you got to stack the number of players, but I looked on the waiver wire, and the first quarterback that I see is Matthew Stafford. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, Matthew Stafford is on the waiver wire. It's like, if somebody's quarterback gets hurt, you just pick up Matthew Stafford and roll with it.
Yeah, I actually drafted Stafford maybe like the 10th round, just to be that guy. So there's someone in our league whose name should not be named, Tony Tucker. He's starting Kirk Cousins as a starting quarterback in a 10-man league.
In a 10-man league, Kirk Cousins. And look, this one thing about the Las Vegas draft, and I've had a couple of trades because not a couple of trades, but put up, Lenny for a trade because I'm not a big Lenny fan. I think he did good, but I think he's, like you said, a little long in the tooth. For us, playing for a while. But at the same time, if I got him in my starting lineup, don't send me 2 players, you know what I'm saying, that you got at the bottom of your bench. Yeah, to trade me, and you know who you are, you will remain nameless, and done it twice. Send me 2 trades. Decline. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to give me a starter out of that group. I'm not, what?
Right, that's a 3rd round pick. That's that low balling stuff, especially amongst analysts. It's disrespectful.
And it's over. Now it's over. You won't get a trade from me.
Right. The relationship is torn.
Yeah. You need to come like I slid in your DM, but I asked respectfully. Hey, can I?
Hey, respectfully.
Yeah, and you turned me down respectfully. It happens a lot of times in the DM. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Don't give me 2 of your bench players to try to get my 3rd round pick, man. Get out of here, man.
Well, speaking of James Robinson, looks like he's going to be ready week 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at that. What does that mean for Etienne, Ben?
Nothing.
Still feel
confident? Week one, nothing. James Robinson will be limited to like 10 touches.
Okay.
Etienne will. It's one of those, and this is the name of the episode next week or tomorrow on the Fantasy Shot Callers Live will be "Don't Get Cute." And what I would say is it's kind of interesting if you have a deeper leagues that you can roster more players on the bench, like have both of them. Have Etienne and James Robinson and see how it plays out. Have Kenneth Walker and Rashad Penny and see how it plays out. Right. Like I wouldn't go as far as saying like have Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, and James Cook and see how it plays out. Yeah, there's nothing really that could come from it because like especially with Kenneth Walker and Rashad Penny, it seems like both of them, well, at least Rashad Penny is pretty injury prone. So at the very least, you could throw him on IR. If he goes on IR, you plug in Kenneth Walker. There, you bada boom. You can pick up another player off the waiver wire. And then let's see. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of just, and then same thing. If James Robinson becomes injury prone, put him on the IR, pick up another player, and you just keep it pushing.
For sure.
Right.
Chris Godwin, another guy. Looks like he's gonna play. Is that the report?
Yeah, I mean, he may get a little more usage than my James Robinson prediction. For the mere fact that they'll be playing a shootout with the Cowboys. So it'll be a fun one to watch. I think I'd say Godwin would probably play 40% of what he usually does in week 1.
Fair enough. What you have a take on Godwin at all?
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I think they're gonna put him out there, just like you said, maybe 40% at the most. I think just to let him run, let him get his legs under him. It's been a while. I mean, it's NFL ball, and I mean, if he gets hit the right way, I mean, that's a lot of rehab for nothing. And I mean, we know how the game goes. So, like I said, just get his feet back under him, and Brady's gonna find him. They got Evans, and I think he'll play well. I hope they're not rushing him out there too fast. I feel like it's fast. I would sit him, a couple of games myself. Just
they should be fine without him. I don't know what the rush is,
right?
But they know what they're doing. That's why they do what I do. They do, and I do what I do.
Right.
J.K. Dobbins is another one who, he's saying he's ready, but the doctors are saying otherwise. I don't know if he's going to be a game time decision. He's someone who both you and I, Big E, were huge on prior to the news, and now I don't have any shares of him in anything that I'm in.
True.
Did you end up drafting him anywhere?
No, I didn't, and I wrote that name down. I definitely wanted to talk about J.K. because I mean, I think that I mean, we know what he is, but I don't know if he's fully healthy. But at the same time, I like to trade. I'm a trader. I like to trade, so I will be looking to try to get him mid-season before he takes off in some of these leagues, or some of the people who have him, and he's been a disappointment. And I can, swoop in and hopefully steal him, because I think that the second half of the season he's going to shine, but first half is going to be a struggle.
I feel it. What do you got, Ben, on JK?
It's all just a joke. Get it, JK? It's just
a
joke.
Bars. Bars.
Fitting up there.
I no.
It's a no for you. It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah, that's gonna be no for me, dog. You're not going to Hollywood. But I mean, it sucks to see someone with such potential, such literally perfect running back body size. He's just like a bowling ball, with all of his pads and stuff, and it's perfect for I mean, let's be honest, it's a run heavy offense. And so going forward, it's kind of, you're going to have to play the rotating game, and it's one backfield that I would rather, let's see.
Elijah
I would
Mitchell?
rather no. That's a huge upgrade, but I would rather chance it on Chase Edmonds or Raheem Mostert over someone from the Ravens. Because the carousel last year just speaks It just speaks to what the trainers and what the coaching staff are kind of running through with the running backs. I mean, let's see. Before that, who was it? Mark Ingram that had a good year or did he fall off?
Yeah.
He had a good year with the Ravens. And then didn't he get injured too?
Yeah.
Gus
Edwards.
Yep.
There's a third guy that got hurt too that tore an ACL as well. We don't talk about him. But all three of their starters.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's just you kind of, I mean, when it comes down to brass tacks, you got to look at the common sense, like the common sense. I'm going to make up a new word, the common sensinality right now. Because like, if the trainers aren't doing a good job and really working out and conditioning people, especially coming back from any injury whatsoever, it's going to happen again. That's why you'll see teams kind of profiles and identities change, because their personnel changes with how their strength and conditioning coaches are. And that's why, you know, a lot of people are, I believe, I mean, and this is one of with Saquon this year, with how he's been able to really become this, like, get his strength back, where they're putting out a limping J.K. Dobbins to be running at full speed, even though he's running in place. He's running in at full speed and trying to like work out all the kinks while he's still injured. This is your franchise running back. Put him on the bench and take it slow. Right. You have a franchise running back at quarterback already. Like, chill.
Right. That's true.
You know, it's interesting because if they felt really confident in him, they wouldn't have signed Mike Davis or last week Kenyon Drake. That's a telling story. And I've seen in two leagues last week that I drafted in, JK went in the 4th round.
Yes, that's the whole
before Elijah Mitchell.
Right. That's a shocker to me. I mean, how high he's going. I think just the name.
Upside. Yes, pure upside.
And I'm not even a Elijah Mitchell diehard. I mean, some people they love Elijah Mitchell.
It's the system.
Right. Yeah. It's the system for me. I mean, you see all the running backs that come in, the ones that ain't hurt, because every one of them gets hurt. But then they come in and they all shine. So, I mean, you got to watch it. Albert might help me with that. They got a running back from Georgia Tech. I mean, a rookie. I mean, he's killing it. So he's been killing it all in camp. So, I mean, Mitchell better not get hurt this year. I mean, being honest, that guy's good. So we'll see how it pans out. But I mean, 4th round for J.K. Dobbins, I just don't see it. It's like Godwin going real high. He's going high as well.
So and, I mean, any team that Kenyon Drake goes to, he's a fantasy killer. I mean, I'm searching for. Why don't you guys rate that team, and then let me come back to the Kenyon Drake thing.
No, one thing you said about with Kenyon Drake with Chase Edmonds. Chase Edmonds, I mean, it's like he has to have another running back with him. That's the whole thing. I know he has Mostert, but it just when he's by himself or he's the lead back, he doesn't do well.
I mean, but he's always had someone to hinder him. Like last year, they brought in James Conner. Like he's never had the backfield to be his own. And
I don't think he's ever earned it.
He never earned it, but they did get hurt. I mean, you remember when Drake got hurt? I actually, me and you traded. I traded you Chase Edmonds.
Oh, that is right. That's true. That's true.
Chalk, and that's everybody. And he didn't shine those 2 games that he had. You know, I mean, I know it was 2 games, but
I'm gonna give your team, Nick. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I want to give it an 8, but having Singletary as your RB2, but you do have Cook, I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8 because I think it's gonna be Cook's backfield probably by week 4, week 5. I do not like Singletary as an RB2. You're really, really deep at receiver with Elijah Moore and Ayuk on the bench and DK as your flex. And you still got Burks, who I think is going to come on late in the season. I would try to maybe upgrade. But I like your squad. Hurts, Chase, Swift, AJB, Waller, Singletary, DK. And you got a strong bench. And you got a lot of young prospects. So I give it an 8. I give it a fair 8. What do you got, Big E?
I'm on the same thing. The one that sticks out for me is Madison. Madison, he doesn't have Cook, but he has Madison. And that's what I've been trying to do in a lot of my leagues is try to get Madison before the Cook owner gets him, because hey, that's a piece I can trade him, or Dalvin Cook is always he's possible he can get in.
Started for 2 weeks.
Blue tent boy, he's gonna get 20 points in a couple of weeks. So I mean, if you got somebody who's on bye, slide him in.
Slide to the left. What you got, Ben?
So with remember when in 2019 when Callum Balaj was like the guy to get in Miami,
Yes.
Yep.
How could
and
I
then
forget?
who came limping along to steal that role?
Kenyon
Kenyon
Drake.
Drake.
Ian Drake did.
Yes, and then he, I mean, he didn't even keep the job in 2020. Let's see, where is it? Who? I'm pretty sure it was. Oh yeah, Miles Gaskin in 2020, and he messed him up too. Then that's when he went to the
Arizona.
Cardinals and messed up Chase Edmonds,
Yep.
and then he went to the Raiders,
Oh,
and you know,
Josh Jacobs
Jacobs
had
was
okay.
yeah, I mean, he did all right, but like Josh Jacobs was solidified there as the number one. And then Kenyon Drake stole all of his pass catching ability. Even though Josh Jacobs didn't have much, he still had some. And then it was all gone last year. I mean, I remember, I think I started Kenyon Drake 1 or 2 weeks, and he helped me in the playoffs.
Okay.
And then, you know, and so this year, Kenyon Drake, Baltimore Ravens. You heard it here first.
The JK killer.
Yep.
a killer.
What do you guys think of Fournette, or should I trade him away? I personally like Fournette. I think he has a safe floor. 60 receptions. No more Rojo. No Gronk. No AB. Godwin is going to be on limited snap count for probably the first quarter of the season. So I do like Fournette to run the ball when they're in goal line. Still a pretty good offense with Evans and Brady. A solid third round pick, in my opinion.
Yeah, I got him in the third round. I still put him on the trade block just because, hey, just to see what people gonna throw out there. I'm still afraid of Lenny because he gets hurt right there at the end. He got hurt last year at the end.
Yeah.
Then he came in overweight. I mean, I know he's in shape now, but I mean, I'm just a little skeptical. So, I mean, if he find the right guy,
make sure you get White.
Yeah.
If you have Fournette,
right,
get that insurance policy.
there you go.
We got another rate my team. Okay, so we got. If you guys, all right. So I'm gonna line it up to how it normally would read. So to
Is that
start,
Kyle Allen?
What happened?
Is that Kyle Allen starting quarterback, then Tom Brady?
I think that's.
I know it's a joke. It's a joke.
He's joking.
It's a super flex. So we got Brady, RB1, Taylor, RB2, Fournette. You got Keenan Allen, Sutton, and Godwin, Kelsey, Schultz, Hunt, Lockett. So that's a good team.
That's a really good team. This is an eight-team league.
I was gonna say it. Say it, right?
Right.
Because obviously he went Taylor, right?
Right.
Came back and maybe got Kelsey and Fournette. Came back and got. No, there's
Keenan?
no way he came back and got Allen and Sutton.
No way. 10-team?
Right.
I'm going to need receipts.
Yeah.
Ain't no way, boy.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, and then you got two nice, the the 2 and the 3, because Mark Andrews, well, he led in yards, but the 1 and the 3, as far as the tight ends, I mean, my goodness.
That's a squad.
That's a squad. That's a 9.5.
Yeah. I'm not trading anybody.
Nope. Staying locked in. Did you guys want to touch on Michael Thomas? I ended up not getting any shares of him.
No share.
I think Olave is the better value. I still think that Thomas will outperform him, but I just think for value purposes, I like Olave to finish not too far from him, and you can get him maybe 3, possibly 4 rounds later.
Yeah, I mean, he's the riskiest wide receiver in round 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with his ADP. If you draft a wide receiver before him, a wide receiver or 2 before him, then whatever. If he's your wide receiver 3, more power to you. That's great. But if he's your wide receiver 2 or 1, then you may have wanted to go a lot of different options.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I believe for me, I mean, you know, I'm staying away from him. Definitely if I can get like a Robert Woods, you know what I'm saying, way, you know, later in the draft. I mean, you know, ninth, seventh, eighth. I mean, I just don't like Michael Thomas, especially. I mean, well, he missed 2 years and then he looked slow to me. I mean, from what he was. So, I mean, the fifth round, they still asking a lot. Plus, you got a quarterback with an arm now. Don't have to throw it, you know, 15 yards down the field. So, we'll see.
Let's see. Shout out to the Fantasy Football Network, man. They allow us to do
Hell
what we do
yeah.
so well. Shout out to the Melon app. They for hooking us up and just really taking care of us. We really appreciate it, man. If you guys are in here, please hit that like button. It goes a lot further than you realize. Coming on after us, I believe it's Fantasy Football Interactive.
With me.
Are you doing double duty?
Yeah.
I hear you, man.
Respect. So Boom Bust, Kyle Corey, Ben, the three Bs, the killer bees, Boom Bust and Ben.
Shit. And we're actually introducing my buddy that I was just talking about, who was talking about DK. He is the Ric Flair of the Dynasty fantasy football community. He's a beast. I mean, he's a good friend of mine, and he pretty much taught me how to play fantasy football. So it'll be great to have him.
Dope. Well, that concludes another episode, man. Next week, bring the beverages, because we're either going to be drinking someone's sorrow, because we all can't be winners.
Right.
So we will probably be drinking to my pain, because I played Ben in 2 leagues. Hopefully I can at least go 1-1. You know. Stay tuned for Fantasy Football Interactive. Shout out to the network. Shout out to Melon. Shout out to everybody. You guys got anyone you guys want to give a shout out to before we wrap it up?
I say Pittsburgh Mike, dude. He wanted me to get into. I called him Pittsburgh Mike. He followed me for a long time, and he asked me to get in one of his leagues, and I couldn't join, but I told him, because I had so many leagues, man. I got so many leagues, but I told him, I shout him out tonight. So definitely I did. So much love to him, brother.
Save the clip and send it to him.
I will.
Ben, you got anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, shout out to the Vegas slot machines for taking all my money and making me work harder at this, so I don't have to worry about money anymore. And I'd like to give a shout out to Pro Image Sports in the Fox Hills Mall in Los Angeles, aka Westfield Shopping Center, for this dope bucket hat, Steelers bucket hat. And there's maybe some collabs in the works, but we got some stuff going, and that is the same bucket hat that all the players are wearing right now. So go and get them if you're in the LA area. Fox Hills Mall, Pro Image Sports.
No doubt. There it is, folks. We'll see you guys next week, 7:00. Fantasy Football Safe Space. Take care. Stay tuned for Fantasy Football Interactive coming on probably in about another 15 minutes. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, you're welcome, George.